Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 6-6, Add Linear Expressions. This lesson is found on page 365. Let's look at the real world link. Homework. Luke has 20 math problems and 11 science questions. Okay, so in total it looks like he has 31 things he needs to answer. 20 math problems and 11 math questions for homework. Cameron has 23 math problems and 10 science questions for homework. The expressions below represents the type of exercises that Luke has for homework. 20 math problems plus 11 science questions. Complete the expressions that represent the types of exercises that Cameron has for homework. Okay, so we look up here, we see that Cameron has 23 math problems and 10 science questions. So 23 Cameron, right? 23, that's right, 23 math problems and 10 science questions. Okay, now we have to write an expression for the total number of math problems and science questions for both boys. Alright, let's see here. We had 20 math problems for Luke, right? And 23 for Cameron. So that's a total of 43. Right? And we had, let's see again. Then we had 11. Okay, 11 science and 10. That's 21. Science questions. Okay, now here's where we start to talk about linear expressions and algebraically speaking, using variables. Suppose Luke has X math problems and 5 science questions for homework, and Cameron has X math problems. So notice how we're using X, meaning we don't know how much they actually have. We don't know the actual value, right? So we use X, and then we use X again for Cameron's math problems. Since we're using the same letter, the same variable, we're saying that they both have the same amount of math problems, okay? They both have X. If they had different ones, we would use X and maybe Y, or A and B. It doesn't matter what we use as long as the variables are different, and that expresses that it's a different value. But since we're using X and X, we're saying that they have the exact same amount, we just don't know what that amount is. Got it? So Cameron has X amount of problems and 6 science questions. The algebra tiles below represent the total number of math problems and science questions for both boys. Write an expression in simplest form that represents the algebra tiles. Got it? So we have Luke has 5 science questions. Here's 5 science questions. This is Luke, and we know that he has X amount of math. And over here we have Cameron with 6 science questions, right? 6 science questions, and again, X number of math. And there it is. That's how we write it. But if we were to write it algebraically using an expression, we know we have 2 x's. So we can say 2x, right? We have 2 x's, 1, 2. And then how many science? We have 5 here and 6 here, so that's a total of 11. So we added plus 11. And that's how we would write it algebraically. So what's a linear expression? A linear expression is an algebraic expression. Algebraic because we're looking for a variable that we don't know, a letter, right? In which the variable is raised to the first power, okay, so it doesn't have any exponents other than itself, and variable are not multiplied or divided, so the letter we cannot multiply or divide. The table below gives some examples of expressions that are linear and some examples of expressions that are not linear. This will make more sense later on, boys and girls, but make note. Here, 5x is linear, okay? 5mn is not linear because we have 2 variables that can affect one another. Okay, 3x plus 2 is linear, right? And here we have, this is not linear because it has a power raised to the 3rd power. It's cubed. X minus 7 is linear, but x to the 4th power minus 7 is not linear. Okay, you can add linear expression with or without models. Sometimes you will need to use 0 pairs. Now this will make more sense as we go. Okay, let's look at example 1. We have 2x plus 3 in parentheses plus x plus 4. So think of these as 2 different occurrences or 2 different things. And now we're going to add these 2 times, times or occurrences together. You could do it like simply like this, where you do 2x plus 3, and then at the bottom you write x plus 4. And you could do it straight down, where you add these 2 together and you add these 2 together, so that you know here you have 7. Now don't forget that in front of the x is actually 1, we just don't write it, so it would be 3x, right? We would write it like that, plus 7, and you can see that that's your answer right there, right? But they're trying to explain to you how you would do it. You have 3 of them, so you put them together, and you have here 7 of them, so you put them together. So you use associative property to combine them. You can see that in example 2, they've actually used my method of just aligning them, the x's, and then you align your negative integers, and you have -1 plus -5. You see that right there? Adds up to be -6. So they did it the way I did it. Let's try A and B. So I copied 3x plus 5 right there, plus the 2x plus 3 right there. Okay, now they're nicely aligned. And I'll add them, and I get 5x plus 8. There we go. Let's try B. So I have 2x minus 4. Now, look at the way I wrote it. I wrote 2x plus -4 because I want to work with the -4. This is a -4, this is a -7. I want to work with them directly, okay? But that's why I added it here. You'll see what I mean in a minute. It just makes it easier for me to work. It doesn't really change the value or anything. And now I write 3x plus -7, right? So I add it, and I have negative, this is negative, it's going to be -11, okay? And 5x, and minus 11, okay? Now for example 3, you'll notice that we have 2x, but then we have a -x on this side, and we have -3 here, but positive on this side. These are going to end up canceling each other out. So if you look here at the tiles, I see that I have 3 -1s, but 3 +1. What's going to happen is that these 3 -1s are going to cancel these 3 out. So now I'm only left with 1. You see that? And this -x right here is going to cancel this one out, so I'm only left with this one. So I have 1x left, right, or x, and 1 left. And this 1 is a positive, right, because we have 4 positives, and I'm only left with 1 of them. You see that that's what they did here, and I have an x and 1. So my answer is x plus 1. And for example 4, notice that the 2x is the 2 is not inside the parentheses, right? So we have to use distributive property here to make this 2x, and then 2 times 3 is 6, right? So we have to change it so that it looks more like this one, and then we can work with them. We can add them together. So that's what they did here. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 3 is 6. So you have the 2x and 6 there plus 3x. Now 2x plus 3x is 5x, and 1 and 6 plus 1 is 7. So it should be 5x plus 7. And there you have it. And number 5 is again a repetition of it. 5x, and 5 times -4 is -20. So this should be 5x minus 20. Correct? Oh, there it is right there. 5x minus 20 plus 2x minus 7. I have my negatives together. -20 plus -7 is -27. And 5 plus 2 is 7, 7x. There it is. Okay, if you are confident, go ahead and pause the video now and try these 4 on your own, and then play the video to see if you did it correctly. Pause now. Okay, for C, I've aligned them. X minus 1 plus 2x plus 3. There it is. -1 plus 3, it's going to be 2. Okay, so it's a positive 2. And then x plus 2x is 3x. And now I have x minus 4 plus -2x plus 1. -2x plus 1. Notice that I put a parenthesis here, and the only reason I did that is just so that I don't confuse this plus sign and this negative sign. It just makes it easier to read. So, okay, now I have x plus -2x is going to be -1x, or just simply -x, right? And -4 plus 1 is going to make it -3. There you have it. For E, I'm going to use distributive property to format this expression to this expression. So 6 times x is 6x, 6 times 7 is 42. There we go, 6x plus 42. Now I can work with them. So I have 42 plus 3 is 45, right? I'll bring down my plus sign, and 6x plus 1x is 7x. There we have it. That goes right there. Okay, next. You notice that my first expression is already all within the parentheses, but my second expression here, that I'm adding, I need to use distributive property, and 2x, and then 2 times -10. Okay, -10 is going to be -20. And I wrote that right there. So I can go ahead and add positive 19, and plus negative 20 is going to give me a negative 1. And then over here, 12 plus 2x, 12x plus 2x is 14x. And there we have it. And finally, for example 6, write a linear expression in simplest form to represent a perimeter. The perimeter is the distance around. You add this, and it tells you how much it, or the distance, how long it is around the outside of the triangle. Find the perimeter if the value of x is 5 centimeters. So we've been given the x, the value of x, which we can replace in all those. But what we can do first is we can take all the sides of the triangle and add them together. Okay? So as you see up here, all the sides of the triangles are being there. There's the 5x, there's the 2x plus 9, and there's our 3x minus 3, right? So I've written them out, or the book has written them out like that, and now we can use associative property to put the 5x's together, okay, the coefficients together right there. And we have 3x plus 2x plus 5x equals 10x, and then negative 3 plus 9 is 6. And we can replace this x now with the 5, so that we have 10 times 5 is 50, plus 6 equals 56. So the perimeter is 56 centimeters. Let's try this example together. A rectangle has side lengths x plus 4, a rectangle, the sides, feet, and 2x minus 2 feet. So it looks like this. Something like this. I don't know if it's actually, this is not to scale obviously, but I wanted to give you a visual that it has sides of x plus 4, alright, so one there and one there, and 2x minus 2 there and there, and write a linear expression in simplest form to represent the perimeter. The perimeter will be this plus this plus this plus this. So this 2 times and this 2 times, right? Find the perimeter if the value of x is 7 feet. So they're telling me that the sides are x plus 4. And I know I have 2 sides, like I just showed you on the picture previously to this. So it's going to be 2 of these, plus, because we're adding all the sides together, 2 more of the other ones, of the 2x minus 2, right, of this one up here. Those are the sides. Now we can go ahead and solve for this. 2x over here plus 8, right? I'm multiplying it like that, multiplying it there, and then plus 4x minus, right? And now I can group them. I'll group the x's together, so it looks like this. I have 2x plus 4x, bad x, plus 8 minus 4, right? This will give me 6x, 2x plus 4x is 6x, and plus 8 minus 4 is simply 4. And now we were told that it's x is 7, so let's replace it. 6 times 7 plus 4 equals 6 times 7 is 42, plus 4 is 46. Therefore, it's 46 feet, right? We're working with feet, as you can see right up there. And that's it. Let's do the guided practice in class as a warm-up, but please complete the entire independent practice, including the back of the page. If this is not done, boys and girls, I will have to not give you full marks, full grades for the homework completion. Okay, so make sure that you also do this. If you have any questions, make sure to ask me in class, but I would like to see that you have something written down, that you actually tried. See you in class.